Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We got some bad news from Germany and I didn't expect good news since they still have those sanctions imposed on Russia and they are scrambling to get some energy from somewhere else, and if they get it from the United States they get it at a higher price, much higher price, and that we'll see in the consumers' bills and the people's everyday consumption of energy, higher bills. This article comes from Reuters from July 28th, and it says that German inflation rises unexpectedly as gas crunch tightens. Harmonized CPI rises, headline inflation ticks down. Energy prices up 35.7% year on year. So my German friends will have to pay at least 35.7% more per gas or energy in general compared with last year. I hope their incomes increased 35.7% year on year or maybe 2%. All right, and this is just the energy. Some government relief approaching end. That means you're screwed doubled. Consumers facing higher energy bills. Well, but you hold on to those medals, the virtuous medals for Ukraine, okay? Make sure you put them, you frame them, and you hang them on the walls, okay? In the meantime, pay 35.7% more on energy, and the inflation about 8%, and your salary was increased 90%. Yeah, right. German inflation edged up unexpectedly in July, driven by an energy supply crisis as a further reduction in gas flows from Russia prompted concerns about even higher energy bills. Consumer prices, harmonized to make them comparable with inflation data from other European Union countries, HICP, increased by 8.5% on the year, the Federal Statistics Office said on Thursday, citing preliminary data. And I'm quoting, the increase in HICP inflation, right, is a warning sign for the European Central Bank, ING economist Karsten Brzezinski. The European Central Bank uses this figure to measure consumer price inflation. A first reading of July inflation for the wider Eurozone is due on Friday. Consumer prices growth in the 19 countries sharing the euro was a record high, so consumer price, of 8.6% year on year in July, driven by rising energy and food prices. Good. A Reuters poll of analysts had forecast an annual HICP reading in Germany of 8.1% in July, up from 8.2% in June. Okay? In non-harmonized terms, Germany's year-on-year consumer price index fell slightly in July to 7.5 from 7.6. German headline inflation dropped for the second month in a row in July. However, this is not yet the end of surging inflation rates. Energy prices were 35.7% higher in July on the same month last year, the Statistics Office said. Both this and food prices, up 14.8%, were fueling overall high inflation. So this is energy price and food price. Increased 14.8%. Well, the German government planning to enact a levy on all gas consumers from October on that suppliers can pass on soaring gas imports prices caused by the dearth in supply from Russia. Measures to counter the high cost of living. What was I saying? For the past, 3 months since they did enact those sanctions on Russia. When the population will have a lower and lower standard of living, they're going to start squeaking and squealing and crying and wailing and all that. As I said, the Russians and people who are used to scarcity, they can take it easier than people who were never, or at least in their lifetime, they didn't know what scarcity is in food, water, gas, regular stuff, toilet paper, stuff like that. Measures to counter the high cost of living, such as fuel tax cut and cheaper public transport, are set to expire from September. So from September, that's going to be the crack. What I said, winter comes, as Medvedev said, winter is coming closer this year. Chancellor Olaf Scholz, bottom feeder, last week promised further help for low-income households to shoulder spiraling energy costs. What about the rest of the society? Why only the low-income households? And what's a low-income household? So I'm waiting. Germany will be the first to crack, as I said. And once Germany is going to crack, it's going to put pressure on everybody else in Europe, not Great Britain, obviously. And they will try to probably do something on their own, which they will not able because they are under the tight grip of the United States. European Union doesn't have an independent foreign policy, among others. They are more and more, I would say, under the US's hegemony. And it's going to be like this for a while. I don't know how they were going to be able to get out of this. And I always mention that Germany, I think it's still, we can consider it still under the US occupation. It still has about 70,000 military personnel in the country. And you can call it however you want. That's a foreign army, 70,000 army on your territory. You want it or you don't want it, I don't want to hear that. It's still there. And how big is your army again? Once Germany will start crying louder, then you're gonna see the other ones joining the chorus, the choir, and they will have to make a decision somehow. If the Ukrainians are not, I don't know, knocking out Russia in the meantime, then something will happen in, as I said, September, October, that area, that time. I read articles saying that the Ukrainians actually have a momentum right now and they're winning, and the Russians are running towards Vladivostok. I don't know if that's true or not. I still read many articles about Russian missiles. 3 here, 4 there, 12 there, 2,000 there, and it doesn't seem that they're slowing down. They just talk about, we destroyed that bridge over that river and we cut off the Russian army from its offensive. But the guys are building a pontoon bridge right now, so they're going to bypass it nevertheless. They just destroyed their own infrastructures. So they cannot invade or conduct a counteroffensive either on a pontoon bridge then. So we'll find out. Things still go on, and some people make big profits, like the energy sectors and the arms manufacturing companies, and what a coincidence. Not. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.